Welcome and happy Juneteenth. Thank you all for coming tonight to celebrate our maiden voyage of the stage reading play, Juneteenth. I invite you to listen with your third eye and your first heart. My name is Enid Pickett. I'm a poet and I'm the director and playwright of Juneteenth. We are the Enid Pickett Players. It's a cultural community theater arts collective. We invite you all to take this journey with us tonight. Over the generations, beginning in 1865, then we stop in 1963, and then we land back here in 2025. Each act depicts a time era where we follow the struggles and the resilience of a Black family living in the USA. I would love to thank and recognize a few folks who made this miracle real, because it started off as an idea and it ended up as a miracle. First, I want to thank God for making this miracle real. My ancestors for inspiration and guidance. I'd like to thank Darren Youngstrom, the pastor of this New Vintage church, as well as the entire congregation of New Vintage. I really love this church. This is my church. I'd like to also thank Samuel Fleming Lewis, who is the artist who gave Juneteenth her beautiful face. He has this art for us to take home as a little gift tonight. So check out what Samuel has to offer. I also would like to thank Caitlin Elizabeth. She's my magical muse. And Erin Anova, she's the artistic director. Ryan Porter, who is Darren's understudy for this play, and Raquel Holmes, Martha McCoy, and all the folks at the Freedom Festival USA. And let's give it up for Keenan Webster. He was playing the African Cora, the great-great-great-grandmother to the harp. I'd like to also thank Sean Greenhall. He's our wizard in the tech room back there. He's for sound and beautiful, beautiful visuals. I want to thank the wonderful volunteers and each and every one of the Enid Pickett Players that you all know and love. Lastly, I want to thank you again for coming tonight, along with family and friends watching live stream from 5 continents tonight, my friends. And all over the USA, including Jersey, my family out there. So a shout out to them. So without any further ado, let's enjoy the premiere debut of Juneteenth. Thank you all for coming.
Got into you, child. You done lost your mind again. Stop your yelling before Miss Martin hears you.
Mama wipes her hands on a rag and stops her daughter with her hands. They walk to the table as she tries to calm her down.
I know, Ma. This is bigger than your biggest
biggest secret. Now tell me, child, what is it? What is it you making all this fuss about? Better be good. Why stop me while I is working? Whatever it is, make it quick, girl. Speak your mind.
Mama, what I is trying to tell you is, I found this in the fire pit.
Girl holds up a letter and waves it.
Miss Martin threw it away. All secret like. And so, I took it out for it burnt up. I know it got some words and letters on it. Do it have any good ones, Mama?
You done lost your mind now, girl. You know this is old Miss Martin words. If she finds out you took it, you know what happens to you. Now gives it to me, quick like.
Girl sits down on the stool and looks up at Mama.
What it is, Mama? All I knows is that Miss Martin was surely upset when she throws it into the fire pit. Her face was as red as a juicy, ripe, rotten tomato.
Girl pours herself a cup of water and drinks fast. She looks up at Mama, looking at the letter inquisitively.
Oh, my Lord. Girl, you go gets butter. He knows what we need to do. You runs to give him this. You runs fast, and you run hard, and never look back. You hear? And don't you say a word. You hear?
Yes, Mama. I knows it was special. That's why I takes it.
Girl puts the letter in her apron pocket and runs off, calling loudly for Uncle Butter.
Uncle Butter, where are you at? Uncle Butter.
Scene changed to Uncle Butter's house. He is standing at a small table with one broken chair, bare walls, except for a hook with a rag on it. Girl is yelling and looking at the side window through a torn curtain hanging half open.
Uncle Butter, you in there? Open up the door. I got something special for you.
First, he hears Girl. Then he walks around rushing. He's holding a cloth with pages in his hands. He hides the cloth of pages inside the crack in the wall and covers it with a rag hanging from a hook. Girl watches him hide the cloth of pages from the window. She opens the door, rushes in, sits down to catch her breath.
What's you hiding in the crack, Uncle Butter?
Hush, ain't got nothing to do with you, so hush your questions.
Uncle Butter covers the crack with a rag and walks to the table.
What is all this fuss about, girl? You knows I gotta get back to Miss Martin's hears horses before she thinks I ain't there.
Girl tries to catch her breath.
Mama told me to give this to you right away. Look.
Girl takes the letter from her apron pocket and gives it to Uncle Butter in a secret, clandestine way.
I got some letters for you. See? It's right on this paper. See?
Uncle Butter goes to the window and closes the torn curtain and walks towards the girl sitting at the table. He is nervous and suspicious.
What you say, girl? Hush, hush.
I says I got some letters for you. I took this from the fire pit. Miss Martin throws it away. And she was so mad at it, she threw it into the fire. She was even cussing. Uncle, I took it as soon as she turns her head away and wasn't looking, and then I hides it. Then I runs and runs to show Mama, and Mama says gives it to you.
Girl wipes her head and fans herself from running. She pours a cup of water to drink.
I've been running all day with these words and letters.
Uncle Butter walks to the corner of the room where no one can see. He looks around and checks the window before opening it up slowly. He holds it close to his eyes, examining the letters and the words.
I see an O, I see an E, too, and even some other ones I don't know yet.
What'd it say? What'd it say, Uncle Butter? Tell me some letters, Uncle Butter. Did I do good? Did I bring you some good ones?
Be still, girl. Don't you see I'm reading?
Uncle Butter holds up the letter, examining it, turning it sideways.
Hush now, child. Let me read my letters.
He scolds her a little, continues to read aloud with a smile on his face. Girl just sits and watches him and sips water.
Yes, I see some letters. Some of them ain't burnt too bad either. You did good, girl. You did real good. Now, go on home now, and don't you tells nobody. I mean, not a living soul. No somebody, no anybody. You swear? You cross your heart and you swear to me now. Right now on Big Mama's grave.
Girl stands up, walks to her Uncle Butter. She crosses and crosses her heart in exaggerated ways.
I swear as Uncle Butter. I swear as nobody, no somebody, will never know. But you. I swear as forever and ever. So help me God.
Uncle Butter and girl, they hug.
Now go now. I got works to do. So do you. Send my news to your mama. She's my only blood sister left.
Girl gives Uncle Butter another hug and walks out the door. She skips down the aisle to go back home, singing to herself. Uncle Butter opens the envelope, takes out the letter slowly, and holds it to his heart. Then he goes to the hook on the wall and takes down the rag and puts out a cloth. He walks to the table, puts the cloth down on the table very carefully. He takes out a few torn pages and pieces of paper and looks at each one carefully. Putting the letters inside the cloth, he carefully wraps them and ties them with the string. He puts it back in between the crack and covers it. Then he starts to pray.
Dear Lord, thank you for these here letters and these words. I know you sent them to me for some real reason, and I promised that I will care for them all, and I promise to learn what they mean before I die. I know them as special, and I believe you want me to have them. I promise to care for, and I will learn to read before I leave this earth. I promise to share this blessing soon as I get strong with my reading. These letters have a message that only you wants me to know. I understand how important this is. I really do. Yes, sir, I really do. I won't let you down, Lord. I trust yous for all things. Amen.
End scene. Uncle Butter is home, sleeping on the floor. A bugle horn blows. Uncle Butter jumps up and goes to the door and listens, then paces the floor in fear. Suddenly, there's a loud knock at the door. He looks around thinking to himself,
What's this all about? What the war done come to Miss Martin's farm?
Uncle Butter peeks out the window, then he moves the curtain slowly, turning his back to the door.
Why all these soldiers marching? Is we at trouble? Is we at war? Lord, what do I do? What do I do?
Peeking out the window, he sees soldiers marching in formation, carrying a flag. He walks up and down in distress before he goes to the door and slowly opens it. Soldiers march into his house, standing at attention.
The United States Army has posted these orders from the Honorable General Gordon Granger. Every slave is to report at the square at sunrise tomorrow. Be at the square at sunrise. All slaves must obey this order from the United States government. Signed, General Granger, United States Union Army. Date, June 17, 1865.
Soldiers exit, marching out. Uncle Butter walks around the table before he sits down.
What is Miss Martin gonna do? She won't like this United States order from some old General Granger. Oh no, this ain't right. I do hope Sister Girl is all right. I must tell her and Girl all the news right quick.
He grabs his hat, exits through the door, shaking his head, talking to himself. Next scene, Sister Girl's house. Uncle Butter bangs on the door. Uncle Butter yells loudly.
Sister Girl, open the door right quick now. You got to hear this.
Sister walks to the door and opens it. Uncle Butter rushes in and sits down at the table. Then he jumps up, walking back and forth, and finally he walks to his sister and speaks.
Sister Girl, you ain't about to believe what I was gonna tell you, what I was gonna say. The war done come to the farm. Soldiers come to my house. They say some general man from the United States Union got some kind of orders. This order says that for all of us slaves, got to go down to the square at sunrise. Come tomorrow. Them soldiers, they march right into my house. And they all had guns and everything. What we gonna do?
They embrace each other with fear, then anxiously look at each other as they sit down at the table to discuss this together. Girl sits down with them, holding her doll, looking at them in silence.
When did they come?
Early morning time. They just come just for light. Them soldiers, they woke me up as I was sleeping and dreaming, and for I know it, I hears this horn blowing and blowing louder and louder. It makes my ears hurt and my head hurt too.
Girl hears this and runs over to hold her mother.
Then I hear a banging at the door and a banging at the door. I think it's them slave catchers. I feels like I'm gonna die today. Sister, I tell you, they came right up to me with guns too. Sister Girl, look at me.
Sister Girl and Girl look at each other with fear.
Oh my Lord. Did they hurt you, Butter?
No.
Did they hurt you?
No.
Uncle Butter shakes his head, gets up and walks around, then sits back down again.
That's the part I don't understand, Sister Girl. They don't lay a finger on me.
Uncle Butter walks to the window to see if anyone is there.
They just talking loud and marching and loud and talking about some kind of orders. I don't know why they didn't kill me, Sister Girl. Them soldiers just talked and walked right out my house.
Sister Girl brings the rag in her hand and looks really scared.
What this mean, Butter? You know better than anybody around these parts. What news have you heard?
Uncle Butter and Sister Girl sit close to talk. He slowly looks around and leans in to talk to his sister.
Remember when I tells you I heard those young colored sailors from Gavinsport talking about some Freedom Day coming, but nobody know what they were talking about.
Sister Girl nods her head and leans in more.
Yeah, I remember, Butters.
Well, they've been talking and talking about this Freedom Day for months and months, but it's just soulless telling tales. You know how them sailors are always telling tales?
Yeah, they do.
I just ain't real. It just ain't real. So I keep telling myself it ain't nothing but crazy sailor talk. But maybe, sister girl, it ain't. Maybe you think this is the same as the orders from the general, man?
Entering into the house abruptly is Mistress Martin. She walks with a cane and she bursts into the room yelling at Uncle Butter and Sister Girl, shaking her cane at them both.
Butters! Sister girl! Butters! Sister girl! You two better listen to me. And you better listen to me real good. Not one of yous is going to that square tomorrow at sunrise. You ain't gonna do nothing. You ain't gonna go down and meet with that ugly Union Army, you hear?
Uncle Butter, Sister Girl, and Girl quickly stood up and looked down at Miss Martin in fear and faithful obedience.
If I find that you, Butters, or you, Sister Girl, been down to that square, I'm gonna have Big Joe beat you so bad that you're gonna wish you were dead, and then I'm gonna sell all you to the first buyer. Do you hear me? I don't want you to pay no mind to that Yankee general. You hear me? If you want to live to see another day, don't go to that square. If I find out y'all went to that square, that'd be the last day you'd be living. Now, you all get back to work. Go on. Get!
Both Uncle Butter and Sister Girl bow their heads and look down. They answer by shaking their heads in fear. Then Mistress Martin storms out, slams the door, walking with a limp. Uncle Butter and Sister Girl hold each other in desperation and fear. Sister Girl starts to cry, just a little.
Now, sister girl, you stop that crying now. Little sister girl, we come this far and we still together. Don't worry, we will find a way to go on to that square tomorrow so you don't miss. So why did Miss Martin come all the way down here to tell us not to go? She must know something. She knows it must be true. Don't worry, we be all right together. Girls, you's coming with us too.
Yes, Uncle Butter. We gonna be together.
And all we need is us. We be together. We be stronger than you know. We be family, and our family is strong. Now we better get some sleep tonight. I come back here, and I'll be with y'all at sunset. And I'll stay here with y'all, and we go out in the morning for the sun come up. That's what we're gonna do. Yep, that's what we're gonna do.
Mama, could Miss Martin really sell us all off like she say?
Listen now, girl. We be together forever, no matter what. Child, we be together by blood forever. Nothing is stronger than our blood bond. Nothing. God put us together as family. We be family even when we die. Death don't separate us ever. 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 Now you says it. Death don't separate us ever, ever, ever.
End scene. The next morning, sunlight pours in the window. A rooster crows loudly off in the distance. Uncle Butter, sister, and girl, dressed in their best clothes, walked out the door, holding hands and walking together with their heads held up high. Next scene, the square. You see people all ages, some holding babies, standing everywhere. Some sitting, some in small groups, and some single standing, waiting around. Then a horn signals the arrival of a Union Army soldiers. The crowd forms an opening as the soldiers enter.
The people of Texas are informed that, in accordance with a proclamation from the Executive of the United States of America, all slaves are freed. The President of the United States, the Honorable Abraham Lincoln, signed the Emancipation Proclamation on the first day of January in the year of our Lord, 1863, stating that all persons held as slaves shall be forever free. That is all.
There is a brief silence in the air as if suspended in disbelief. Time stops just for a moment. Then you hear a voice cry out from a faraway crowd. Several members of the crowd look at each other with mixed emotions, some beginning to speak loud.
We free? Wow, we free!
What free mean, Mama?
We is free! Glory, glory, hallelujah. We is free. I never ever thinks I see this day my whole life. We ain't never be nobody's slave again. Never. Oh my Lord, I have prayed and prayed for this day. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Our ancestors are smiling and smiling. We is free.
Mama, this day must be Freedom Day. Freedom Day forever. We ain't slaves no more, Mama. We free. Finally, finally free.
A celebratory dance breaks out. Everybody is dancing and singing. Some people are in shock, some shaking their heads in disbelief, some holding and kissing their babies. A day of jubilee. People hug and yell in silence. Soldiers are standing off at attention. General Granger quietly watches the cheerful chaos. Some children go up to the soldiers and make fun of them. They mock them and march like them. Some people cry and yell and fall on their knees in joyful prayers, thanking God for this miracle. Cheerful chaos. Next scene, Uncle Butter's house. He's putting all his things in a bag, rushing around the house, taking only his most treasured items. Suddenly, he stops and looks out the window and closes the curtain and goes to the wall, where that hook, and takes that rag down. He reaches into the crack and takes out the cloth of pages. He takes each out slowly, kisses it, and carefully puts it back in this little basket. He looks around the house and wipes a tear from his eye and blows his nose with his handkerchief. He straightens himself up, throws the bag over his shoulder, picks up the basket, takes one last look before he walks out the door. End of Act 1. (1963), the year of the bombings and riots in Birmingham, Alabama, aka Bombingham. We find the descendants of Uncle Butter and Girl living in Birmingham, Alabama. The date is May 2nd, 1963, a very historic day, the Children's Crusade. Birmingham children jumped out of classroom windows. They walked out of doors to be met with fire hoses and police dogs. They were nonviolently protesting for voting rights. You see, back then, black people, we couldn't vote. This children's crusade happened just a few weeks before the historic March on Washington, August 28, 1963. We find Uncle Butter's great-grandson. His name is Benjamin Freeman. He is almost 15. They call him Benny. He is with his cousin, the great-granddaughter of Girl. Her name is Ethel Williams. She's 9 years old. They kept the family promise to always stay together no matter what the struggles they faced since 1865. We find them planning to join the hundreds of Birmingham children for a surprise children's march called the Children's Crusade. Opening scene, Ethel is at the table, writing in her journal. She hears a knock at the door.
Who is it?
It's me, Benny. I came to walk you to school like I always do, every day. So stop playing and open the door. I know you're in there, Ethel.
Ethel writes in her journal.
And this is going to be the best day in my life. I will always remember this day, May 2nd, 1963, forever.
She stops writing and puts the journal away on the bookshelf with her stacks and stacks of other journals.
You gonna keep me standing out here all day or what? And I know you ain't coming with me today. All I'm doing is walking you to school.
Ethel walks over to open the door to let Benny inside. She yells, then whispers in a sassy, bossy way.
Yes, I am going. Yes, I am. And I'm coming with you whether you like it or not. I don't care what you say, Benny. I ain't scared to go into jail. And you can't stop me from going today neither. And if you try, just try and stop me. And I'm telling Mama.
Ethel has her hands on her hip, being defiant and brave.
Okay. Just shut up and keep it a secret. Just be quiet. Nobody knows what we're doing today. You're always running your mouth. Let's just wait, sit here, and listen to DJ Cool. His morning show is coming on soon. Will you please just stop talking and listen up?
Benny walks to the table, sits down. Music is playing softly on the transistor radio. Benny looks around and thinks to himself, and then he says,
Okay. You can come as long as you don't talk. Okay? You always talking and talking. I will walk you to school as usual. 10:30, we walk out. At 11 o'clock sharp, we meet up at the 16th Street Baptist Church.
Benny turns the radio up and hears the voice of DJ Cool.
It's 7 a.m. Get up, get your booties up. Good morning, everybody. Everybody, eat your breakfast and brush your teeth. Time to get tight, time to get right. Today, cats and kittens, get your mittens ready. Today is indeed the day to pray and then go play.
Benny and Ethel look at each other with a serious look.
Y'all know what I mean? Y'all get smooth and get ready to move. At 11 o'clock sharp, I say 11 o'clock sharp. I mean as sharp as a tack, Jack. Today is the day. Today is our day. You dig? Now listen to this new groove by Mary Wells called Two Wrongs Don't Make a Right. Okay, we planned for this meeting, remember? Now this is for real.
I know it's for real, Benny, and I am ready. I ain't scared of no white man.
Here's the plan. I will walk you to school as usual. Check.
Check.
Then, exactly at 10:30, you check out like a light. I'll meet you at 11 o'clock at the 16th Street Baptist Church. Check.
Check.
Then, we all march downtown. You got it?
Yeah, I got it.
They will give us protest signs when we get to the church. Check.
Check.
Ethel looks at her watch on her arm.
11 o'clock. Means no CP time either. I got my toothbrush and sandwich. I even made a sandwich for you too, Benny. You're the only one in the family that loves peanut butter and bacon sandwiches. Ugh, nasty. Benny, you think they're gonna be mad at us for going to the protest?
Benny takes the brown bag with the sandwich in it.
Mad? Well, yes and no. Listen, our family has a big history of going and coming and going and coming during hard times. They lived through all this mess so that we can have a better life. This is our time. This is our hard time. It's our turn to fight for our rights. We can't just sit around and do nothing. We got to do something. I'll be there with you too. You dig? We're gonna be all right. It will be out of sight.
Ethel walks around the room, gathering her school things, preparing to go to school.
Yes, our people didn't come all this way from Texas to be living like slaves again. Living with no rights is like living like a slave, Benny. We have no voting rights. We don't get treated like human beings. That is wrong. Just plain wrong. This protest will change the world. I know. I can just feel it.
Benny is watching Ethel prepare for school, listening.
Yeah, Benny. I am more than ready to fight for my rights. No more bombing. No more killing. No more Birmingham. No more Jim Crow.
Benny and Ethel walk out the door with the radio playing.
Thousands of children began a week-long series of protests against segregation in Birmingham. The campaign became known as the Children's Crusade. When the children took to the streets, the local head of the police, Bull Connor, used high-pressure fire hoses and dogs to attack the children, many of whom were arrested. Images of the police violence was broadcast around the world. One photograph captured the moment when a white police officer allowed a large German Shepherd dog to attack a young black boy. The Children's Crusade began at the 16th Street Baptist Church. 4 months after the protests began, the Ku Klux Klan bombed the church, killing 4 little girls: Addie Mae Collins, Carol Robertson, Cynthia Wesley, and Denise McNair. In a moment, we'll be joined by two guests to talk about the Children's Crusade in Birmingham. But first, let's turn to the scholar and activist Angela Davis, who grew up in Birmingham. This is Angela speaking in 2013.
And how many of us remember that it was young children, 11, 12, 13, 14 years old, some as young as 9 or 10, who faced police dogs and faced high-power water hoses and went to jail for our sake. And so there is deep symbolism in the fact that these 4 young girls' lives were consumed by that bombing. It was children who were urging us to imagine a future that would be a future of equality and justice.
We now find ourselves in the middle of 2025, and it's hot and it's June. We meet Benny Jr. Benny Jr. is the grandson of Ethel and the great-great-grandson of Uncle Butter. He is a high school teacher in Northern California preparing his class for another Juneteenth lesson. He is taking pics with his phone to share with his students.
Look at these old folks. This must have been my grandfather back in the day. What's this? Oh my God. This must be my grandmother's journals. She wrote this when she was just a little girl.
Benny holds up the photos and discovers a black and white journal that his grandmother wrote when she was 9 years old. He continues to look in the box of photos and sees an old, torn envelope. He opens it and something falls out. It's another envelope. He looks inside and finds a cloth, the same cloth that Uncle Butter used to hide the words and letters in. He carefully opens it and holds it up, and he looks at the torn pages of words and letters, just like Uncle Butter used to do. He holds it to his heart, just like Uncle Butter did. He can't believe what he sees. He takes out each one, examines it, and then he kisses it carefully, just like Uncle Butter used to.
I can't believe it. This is what my grandfather told me about. Just when I was a little kid, this must be my old Uncle Butter's words and letters. He used to teach himself how to read back in the day. Uncle Bud has taught a lot of other folks how to read and write too.
Benny Jr. opens the letter and reads it. Out comes a very old, old man. He's holding a letter and he's about to read it aloud to us.
To my darling daughter, Miss Mary Elizabeth Alice Martin, this is my last will and testimony. I feels the touch of death is near, and I must make things right before I meet my Maker. I am in my true faculties and right state of mind, writing this will. I hereby pronounce the full freedom of 3 slaves I currently own, known as Uncle Bud, grown man. His grown sister, negress named Sister Girl. Sister Girl daughter, a young negress named Girl. They family has worked here at the Martin farm for years and years, way before my daddy was born. I gives them each $10. I leaves all my wealth, my 104 acres, my 709 slaves, and all my other animals and properties to my only daughter, Miss Mary Elizabeth Alice Martin, to own, manage, and oversee. Signed, the Honorable Joseph Gerald Bartholomew Martin, on this day, June 17, 1863.
Benny wipes a tear from his eyes and shakes his head. He stands and says,
Now I really do have a Juneteenth lesson for my class. Wow. I can't believe this kept with me for all these years, huh? My family. Thank God for my family. Thank you, Uncle Butters. Thank you, Sister Girl. And thank you, girl, for keeping the family together.
Next scene. Benny Jr. walks into the classroom decorated for Juneteenth. His ancestors are standing in the corner of his classroom, watching, smiling, and listening.
Good morning, class.
Good morning, Mr. B.
Okay, class. Put your phones down. Time to get started. Let's say our class pledge. The pledge by Obidun Oyewele of the Last Poets. I want to be what I can be, to be proud, healthy, and
Free.
I want to say what I know, to help my brothers and sisters grow. I want to feel good about me and blame no one for my misery. 'Cause I'll be strong to turn it around. I want to go up, I'm not going down. I want to do what I can do to make all my dreams come true. Remember my past, the good and bad, how I made it art even when it was sad. I want to share whatever my gifts. And when you're feeling low, I'll give you a lift. I want to live without fear and know that I'm blessed for being here. And know that you're blessed for being here. And know that we're blessed for being here. And know that
We are blessed.
This is our class pledge from the last poets.
After the pledge, everybody asks his class 2 questions. So the teacher will ask the class 2 questions.
What do you see that was not here yesterday? What do you know that you did not know yesterday?
Students enthusiastically raise their hands to answer.
Before you answer, I have a little something to show you about Juneteenth.
There's a lot more Juneteenth decorations all around the classroom today.
Juneteenth decorations are red, black, and green. Hey, the same colors for black liberation.
I know that Dr. Opal Lee, that retired teacher from Texas who started the movement to make Juneteenth a federal holiday in 2021.
They call her the grandmother of Juneteenth.
She worked for decades to make Juneteenth a national holiday. In fact, did you know at 97 years old, Dr. Opal Lee walked from Texas to Washington, D.C. to bring international attention so that Juneteenth could be a holiday?
Didn't President Biden give her the Presidential Medal of Freedom?
Good. Who else has some facts for the class?
Yeah, she got millions and millions of people to sign petitions from all over the USA, getting support for our newest federal holiday.
My family was one of those that signed the petition too.
Can you imagine an old teacher, 97 years old, walking over 1,400 miles from Texas to Washington, D.C.?
She did. That was amazing. She's an OG and a real baller.
Yes, she is. She believes in freedom. She believes in justice. She believes in liberation for all her people. That's why we study Juneteenth. It has a rich history of our past, the present, and the future. In West African traditions, they have a name for this. They call it Sankofa. Raise your hands if you've ever heard of Sankofa before.
Benny Jr. goes over and holds up a Sankofa carving for his class to see.
Here is a wooden handmade carving symbol of Sankofa from Ghana, West Africa. The bird is holding on to the egg. That egg is our future, our past, and our present. You must know your past to understand your present, to help navigate your future.
Many of our ancestors died for freedom, dignity, and justice. And they're still doing it today too. We will never forget what they did, who they are, and what sacrifices they made for all of us.
She is a legend. She is a hero for real. celebrated in Texas for decades, way before the federal holiday began, and don't forget, it started in Texas first.
My relatives are from Texas, and they've been celebrating Juneteenth for years.
And don't forget that the local church was the first and only safe place people celebrated Juneteenth as a community. And churches are still doing it today.
Yes, class. All your facts are correct about Juneteenth. Now, I would like to share with you a very important historical document. Here is a letter from a slave owner.
He holds up the letter carefully. All the students raise their hand eagerly with questions. And he's writing to his last will and testament, granting freedom to my ancestors. He holds up the letter carefully. All the students raise their hand eagerly with questions. The class freezes in action.
Listen to me good, girl. Child, we be together by blood forever. Nothing is stronger than our blood bond. Nothing. God put us together as family forever. We be family even when we die. Death don't separate us ever. 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 Now you sing.
Death don't separate us ever, ever, ever.
Remember, slaves did not come from Africa. No. Teachers, poets, healers, scientists, farmers, architects, philosophers, mathematicians, artists, men, women, children, human beings.
Let's all bow together. 1, 2, 3. Experience sharing it with you because this is our debut. You're the first audience to hear our words. Thank you. But it appears you won't be the last either, so that's a good thing. That's a good thing. Thank you all for coming. There's a quote at the end. Sean, do you think we can run that again?
Remember, slaves did not come from Africa. No. Teachers, poets, healers, scientists, farmers, architects, philosophers, mathematicians, artists, men, women, children, human beings, all of our ancestors came from Africa. What kind of ancestor are you going to be?
Thank you, everybody. 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 Delta Doggies. It is an honor to be with you tonight, and thank you. I hope you enjoyed it. It was something that we created together, and I want to acknowledge Sean, who was the lights and also with sound. We have time for a Q&A, and because we are around the world and around the country, we're going to coordinate it with Martha. If there's any international questions, or we have some in this audience, perhaps. I will facilitate the questions in the audience. Martha will do the ones on live stream. So if anyone has a question, we'll be happy to entertain those questions. But you're not obligated. Yes. There was, what prompted me to write this play? I was inspired by there was some type of an election. I'm not quite sure what kind it was, but it happened in November. Remember that? So I was inspired because of that. It's really true. It is true. Yes.
For our listening audience.
Yes.
So for the audience that is online with YouTube, if you refresh your website at freedomfestivalusa.org, you'll see the link for the Q&A, as well the link for the Q&A is in your email. But that is where you can write your questions for Enid and the cast. Thank you.
Question, just stand up, please, and say whatever you like.
Was the story of the letter, the will and testament handed down to all the generations, is that a true story?
It could be. It's a true story for us. And it's highly probable that it happened during that time because literacy still happened, but it was just underground. People were teaching each other all the time, secretly, very clandestine. You would be punished or worse if you could read. So Uncle Butters represents the resilience of the spirit of all of our history. This is a cast of not just black people, not just white people. Our history is very intimate. It's intertwined. It has a relationship with each other. And so I wanted to share Juneteenth in a very authentic way. And we have had a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun. Any questions from you guys back here? Or comments?
I would like for Butter to express his opinion about reading for enslaved black people. That was
Come to the mic.
Very, very serious matter, life or death.
I have a confession. I am a product of the Freeman family from Wilson, North Carolina, which Ina portrayed as Butters' last name. So I am, in reality, a Freeman. And when I was introduced to this play, I was part of this play. This is a living document. Thank you.
You didn't tell me that. Yes, question.
I would appreciate if maybe some of the cast members talked about what drew them to be participating.
What drew you?
What was personal to you?
What was personal to you?
For me, I knew the historical perspective, and it's a real factual part of our life in this country. And it's very good for myself to be a part of spreading the history, the truths, and sharing.
I was raised church. And I think when I say this, I can speak for a lot of us on the stage. It's just, it's part of our responsibility to tell these stories and to remember. And it exemplifies Sankofa, looking back to remember our history, remember where we come from and who we truly are. And I was just honored to get to be a part of it.
So, there's a lot of history that's been hidden. And the history's been hidden because the slave trade took a huge number of people from one part of the world and scattered them across the whole world. I'm lucky I've got the past, the middle, and the return. So I can relate. But there's a lot of history that we were not told in the different parts, and therefore we couldn't connect the dots. It's a different thing when you're reading history in the books and when you're actually living in the areas where the history happened. Sankofa is not something to be played around with. It's actually Sankofa. Go back and bring back. Go back and remember. So let's go back. And let's take what we have forward with us. And to me, this play has really bridged a huge gap, stretching from West Africa through the Middle Triangle and back again to Sierra Leone and freedom.
What was so surprising about writing, directing, and performing?
What was so surprising is that
It happened pretty quickly. It did. And it was kismet with everyone. We know each other separately, and now we know each other collectively. So, say that again?
And for the cast, what was surprising about this experience?
Surprising.
It just happened. It was, when you talk about collectives, that's something, oh, okay, sorry. I hear my sister over there. It just happened. But it happened in a way that it grew, because each of us have different backgrounds. We all came from different history in our own lives. I am a descendant of Texans who did migrate from the middle of that passageway to come to Texas. So for me, it meant a great deal to have that story told, because it's one that the folks did not know until 2.5 years later. And that is monstrous to even think that people would still be in such a suppressive situation. So for me, it enlivened me to be able to tell my mother's story, my grandmother's story, my grandfather's story, the tree. And so that's for me.
Well, we have, all of us are young up here, Ruth. Okay.
Well, I feel like for me, and also to answer the last question, how quickly it all came together. I agree with what everyone else is saying. I think is really cool. And I've been doing theater for a long time now. I'm 16. I've been doing it for 10 years since I was 6. And I just think this whole experience has been really cool, and to teach people a lot of stuff that maybe they didn't know. I feel I learned a lot. I feel I didn't know a ton about the Children's Crusade, and I think I learned a lot from doing this show. And I think everyone can learn from doing or watching these kind of shows. Especially it's cool when it's mostly about one culture, about Black culture. But just theater in general is really cool, and I'm glad I got to be a part of this.
Joseph.
There's a request, as people respond, and a request from the audience online to have each actor say their name and their background. Some have already included their background. Said they're from Texas, said they're just starting, they've been in theater, but if we could have their names as well.
Let's start with you, Leo. Let's stand up.
I'll just talk from here.
Okay.
Woodrow, they call me Radio. I am from Boston, Massachusetts. My family's Costa Rican. My background is in performance, stage, music, hip hop. Yeah, I got gold records and a Grammy Award, so.
My name is Maya and I'm from here.
My name is Ryan Porter, and I'm from here in Sonoma County. And my background is in business, but I work here at the church at New Vintage. So, thank you.
My name is Ngame, and my family is from Tatum, Texas, but I was born and raised here, and my background is in youth development. My name is Riella Stotson Newman, and I used to be a preschool teacher, and that's it.
My name is Sabria Abdullah, and I was born in Beaumont, Texas. And oh my God! And I'm a radio programmer. I was with KWTF, and I just love the music.
My name is Zanetta Arthur Asgill. My background is in healthcare management, I should say. Across a few continents, from the UK, born and bred in the UK. My heritage is Ghanaian and Sierra Leonean, hence the out and the in. And yeah. And fashion. And I'm married to a wonderful man from Sierra Leone who brought me to Petaluma.
My name is Bree Foster. I was raised here in Santa Rosa locally. My father's family comes from Petaluma, and my mother's family came from Jacksonville and New Jersey. My background is in nursing. I'm a nurse, and Maya is my daughter. She's 8. And I should say that's another reason that I was so excited to be able to participate, was that she could do this with me and we could do it together.
My name is Christopher Bowers. I grew up mostly around here. I'd say, politically, I'd identify as white, but ancestrally, Celtic, Nordic, and my background's in mental health care.
My name's Enid Pickett, and I am so thrilled that this happened. And I'm also from the great state of New Jersey. And it's wonderful to share this experience with all of you. I am so inspired because last year I wrote my first book of poems. This year I wrote my first play, for real. For real. So, I don't know what I'm going to do next, but it's going to be something with words and love. Is that Keenan?
I was glad to be here. My name is Keenan Webster. What did you play today? Oh, I was playing kora, electric kora, which is based on the West African harp. Usually it would be a gourd there. And I'm into a lot of music, historical, African, Native American, stuff like that. Anything that deals with healing. I'm born and raised in Tennessee, Nashville. It's glad to be a part of this. And yeah, that's about it. Thank you very much.
We have one more. Oh, we'll do this in two parts. I'm Dr. Raquel Holmes. I am the lead Freedomista for the Freedom Festival that is broadcasting this through YouTube and has been part of the journey with Enid, and so proud to be just even associated with these beautiful Enid Pickett Players. We have a comment from the audience that is watching, and I'm going to ask my assistant, our tech person in the back, Martha, to repeat it, and I will repeat it aloud, which is from Jerry Pickett.
Uh-huh. Ah, it's my brother.
No comment, no questions, just a few tears. Great performance. Thanks and God bless. And one more comment. Thank you. Great job, you guys. I love the performance. Keep up the hard work. Leon Mayfield. And as we get the final questions, Enid, if we could repeat them for the audience so they could hear them?
Yes.
That'd be great.
Do we have, if you don't mind, we can stay a few more minutes. I don't want to extend your time, but if it feels comfortable, we can stay a few more minutes and ask, kick it and ask more questions. Is that okay? Okay. So who's got a question? Yes, sir. Yes.
The question was, how do you find my music? You can find it, I played with a band called Michael Franti and Spearhead for a number of years. That's actually how I know Enid, who's my West Coast mom, and her daughter Sierra used to do sign language for Spearhead.
What the hell are you doing, Sierra?
And, so, and you can find my music through that. You can find my music through, I have multiple names, the Heartcore MC. Heartcore MC. You can find that anywhere. And you can find me by coming to the Arlene Francis Center, looking around, asking for radio. I'm on Sebastopol, Frederick Road, I'm around there. Yeah. That's where you can find my music.
Does someone have a question in the back? There's a mic for you.
It's more of a comment, but Last week, I was in Washington, D.C. You mentioned that the election inspired you here. And I went to the Smithsonian's African American Museum, which was an extremely moving experience the first time I'd been there. But what stunned me was the place was filled with people with MAGA hats. And I don't know what that means, but I found it incredibly terrifying. I can't put my finger on it, but I just wanted people to know about it, and I don't know if something's planned. I have no idea. But
Well, I hope the play will give you a few minutes of positive vibes and healing. Thank you so much. Any more questions or comments?
Actually, I want to piggyback on the last statement because I actually went to the museum maybe 2 months ago, and I had a text message this morning. So today they're matching 3 times any contribution, up to $200,000. So it's easy to look it up if you want to look up the Smithsonian National African American Museum. Today would be the day, and they'll match contributions because I do think the Smithsonians are under attack, and it's especially, unfortunately, a lot of the administration's executive orders, proclamations, guidelines. Unfortunately, I have to read, and there's a lot of stuff that's happening right now. But this is a day to Sankofa.
Mm-hmm. That's exactly why we have Juneteenth. And this play hopefully is going to be your companion. It'll maybe keep you up at night. Maybe it'll make you think when you're driving or going for a walk. I hope it does haunt you. I hope it stays with you. It's provocative on purpose because we don't have this type of media exposure or even this genre of art in our lives on a daily basis. But imagine what your lives would be like if it was. Weekly basis, maybe. So this is just diversity of thought. It's another perspective. It's an African American story. It's also a story for the United States story. It's all of our stories, your story and my story. And the common denominator is that we all walk on this same land. And because we all walk on the same land, we have a respect and responsibility of the relationship with each other. This is the only planet we have. And so our history is going to dictate the decisions for the present, and hopefully what we do in the present will make our future more healing and clean and full of prosperity. Prosperity of thought, prosperity of art, prosperity of love, prosperity of all the blessings we need. It's prosperity time, folks.
First of all, I want to say that was absolutely fantastic. But the thing that really got to me, and my question is that when I saw the scenes of 1963.
Wonderful, thank you.
I remembered sitting in my living room having dinner or something and then getting up and all of a sudden turning that television on, and all of a sudden there it was, those dogs attacking those children. I just couldn't. I couldn't believe it, and it altered my life. It really did. It changed my whole way of thinking, because especially when I look at this little girl here, I think of little Ruby Dee when she went into the school and they're yelling at her, and I couldn't believe it. It turned me into an activist. And so I'm really curious, because this is our history, and most of us we don't know our history. When I see something like that and I know what's going on today, I say, wow. This is really starting to hit home more. So the question, and also the last thing that you said, the question when you said, what kind of ancestor are we going to be? I mean, that's a very, very, very powerful question. So I'm wondering from the class, from the cast, C-A-S-T, is what, were any one of you all of a sudden when the films came together and you saw that, I mean, how do you react to that? I mean, even here it is, how many years it is, it just made me sick. And I remember seeing the hoses and I mean, all those things, you know, and it's coming up now because they're talking about Johnson when he sent in the, the National Guard. So I'm just curious how, for people that saw that for the first time, what was their response?
That wasn't the first time for me because I was a child at that time. You know, I was like maybe, 13 years old, maybe 12. And so the thing that was very heartbreaking was to see all of that and then have to ask my parents, you know, what's up with this? Why is this all going down and happening? At this point in time, I'm growing up here in California. So, and not to say that there is no racism here and there wasn't any kind of backlash from even moving here. But it was that greater battle and to see children that were like my age or even younger, that was mind blowing. So this just took me back, but I lived it. So, you know, television was strong then. They weren't hiding things. They were blessed that they weren't hiding at that time. So I was a child, but I was a child questioning, how could this happen? How can this be happening? And to see many youth that were my own age, that was mind-blowing.
A minute. This is one of the intentions of the play, to be provocative, to ask questions, to start dialogues, to ask each other questions and share answers and different perspectives. Also, the Q&A was designed as a debrief. You know, this was an emotional roller coaster. This play was dramatic and it had some realities in it that's harsh. So to process that, so we can sleep tonight, we want this Q&A to be something to center us and also get a realistic perspective that it was art and it was also true. But it's also a combination of how you process it. So when you leave here, I want you to take it with you, but I don't want it to disturb you, unless that disturbance has a positive resolution.
And I just want to bring you to today. There's youth who are seeing babies and children dying in wars, and they're continuing and continuing and continuing. And every time a child sees another child suffering, it touches you. And so then you begin to question your parents. You begin to question any adult around you. Like, why is this happening? So I want to bring it to today. You know, Occupy Palestine. I mean, this whole situation is mind-blowing. That's the one beautiful thing about Juneteenth is that every time after the slaves were finally freed, every year they were political when they got together. They not only celebrated, but they talked about what was going on and what was happening. And so the children are never ignorant about what time it was. And I think that's something that was very powerful about in having the Children's Crusade, because that's a mighty weapon of the children's voices. And many times people shut children down. So this is what was very powerful for me to have that segment in this play, because it was the children who rose up, and before you knew it, then the parents fell in too. It's not that I'm saying none adults weren't dealing, but that the children spoke loud. For the children to skip out of school, and like they said, jumped out of windows and whatever and stuff out of their classrooms, to just become a part of that struggle, that's a mighty thing. So, and that's why I'm really glad we had these babies to play these roles up here, because normally, you know, you're just going to see the adults. But the youth were the powerful message too, the mighty message. So anyway, that's why I just wanted to bring that up.
Anyone else? Thank you. Thank you.
Service role. I mean,
You-
with your heart, you showing up with your hearts. Thank you for Edith for putting this together.
Thank you. It is service. Thank you. So I think we have one more question. Yes.
I just wanted to ask, so I also saw those images as a small child, and I feel very fortunate that, thank you. I feel very fortunate that I had parents who explained it to me. And so at the end of this, it said, what kind of ancestor are you going to be? It was, I don't want to say it was easy for my parents to teach me the lessons, because it's one thing when you're listening to someone who lived through the Depression, who lived through Jim Crow. How do we get that across to the kids today? Because with all the social media and everything else that they're distracted by, how do we get this message? How do we be better ancestors to our kids today?
You start by asking yourself that question and having that conversation with your own child and giving your child some options. And every year, if you don't mind, can I put my 2 cents in? Every year you're a different parent because your child is a different age, a year older. So you're not the same parent when they were 4, when they're 14. So they are changing with you. So your parenting style changes. And the older they get, the more authentic and truth you can explain and invite them into, and ask them to start making some judgments and decisions and get them thinking more about the conversations you have at home. And hopefully those conversations will develop into some ideas and hopefully behaviors, maybe even values. But the conversation is where you start. Okay. And I think we're ready to say goodnight.
Before we say goodnight, I just want to make a slight reminder that we have the Nubian Cafe Collective here with merch in the front, where Enid Pickett and the rest of the Cafe Collective are all a part of the production.
Nubians, want to stand up? We're the Nubian Cafe Collective.
Someone asked what that is. What is the Nubian Cafe Collective?
It's a group of friends that are artists and also activists and creatives. And we look at our cultural history, and we try to preserve it and make it clean because it's been sanitized, and make it authentic and expose it to as many different audiences. So we do rituals and we do libations, and we have festivals. We celebrate Kwanzaa. We celebrate lots of other things. And we do this too. We do this too.
Lastly, we should...
I don't say goodnight. I say...
Before we don't say goodnight, I just want to honor the artist who did Juneteenth's face.
Yes, this was Samuel Lewis, as you may or may not know. And he has his art. I was going to get to that point. Thank you. If you'd like to experience some wonderful art. Samuel gave the face of Juneteenth to us, and he's quite the artist. He's quite the artist. And so, yes, Rielis.
Nubian Cafe Collective. Nubian is a very ancient civilization. It's one of the original civilizations and kingdoms of the motherland, which I call, instead of saying Africa, I say the motherland. So it's very, very important. It has an incredible foundation, and that's why we chose Nubian, because it's very ancient.
I don't say goodbye. I say sweet dreams and sweet realities. There's Ellen. Hi, Ellen.